This is review for your radical expressions and equations with graphing. If you're being asked to simplify a radical expression, always check to make sure what your index is. Remember, your index is your number that's over here on the outside, sitting out on the arm. So this has a square root, this has a cube root. Normally, if you have a square root, you don't see the two. So you would, on your test tomorrow, you would see this problem written like this. Now, this one's real easy. This is a basic problem. All you're doing is taking the square root. The square root of 9 is 3, so that comes outside of your radical sign. When your exponent and your index match, then that comes outside of your radical sign. So this one will come out, this will come out, and this would come out. So our final answer would be 3xyz. For the next one, we have a fraction. We can separate the top from the bottom. So I have the cube root of 27 f to the third over the cube root of 64 g to the sixth. We look at the top, 27 is a perfect cube, that's 3. Index matches the exponent, so the f comes out. 3 divided by 3 is 1. On the bottom, 64 is a perfect cube, it's 4, so that comes out. Now watch this one. Exponent divided by index, 6 divided by 3 gives us 2. So when I bring out the g, it's not only going to be a g, it's going to be a g squared. For this one, we're going to simplify it, and you're going to combine your like terms first. So you've got the cube root of a negative 8. Here we're combining 2 minus 4 gives me a negative 2. What's the cube root of a negative 8? The cube root of a negative 8 is negative 2. Negative 2 minus a negative 2 is a negative 4. Remember, you can always plug them into Desmos. Which of these will not, watch out for your word here, not give a real root? So we're going back to what we did the first or second week in school. We cannot take the square root, an even root of a negative number. So this would be 1, this would be 4, this would be 2. We've got a negative underneath it. So this would give us the square root of 100 is 10, and when you bring out the negative, it becomes an I. So that would be an imaginary solution, not a real solution. If you have a fraction that's raised to a fractional exponent, all you need to do is to plug it into Desmos. Or we can look at this. Remember, this is exponent divided by index. So if we write it as a radical, we've got the cube root of 27 squared over the cube root of 64 squared. Cube root of 27, well, hopefully we know that's 3. Cube root of 64 is 4. And then when we square it, we get 9 over 16. If you plug it into Desmos, we can plug it directly into Desmos exactly as we had it. So it was 27 divided by 64. And then we had that all raised to the 2/3 power. So if you're going to raise it 2/3 power, oh, I don't like that. Go over here, find your fraction, 9/16. Same thing that we got when we worked it out. The graph that most accurately represents which of the following functions. What does this look like? Hopefully by now, if it looks like an S-shaped curve, you can identify that it is a cube root. Square root, remember, would only be part of that, half of a parabola, okay? Which of the following is the parent function? What kind of graph is this? You should be able to remember that this is an absolute value graph. because it has what shape? It's a V-shaped graph, absolute value. Hopefully you can remember also for your equation, we should be able to write our equation for this one. Our vertex is located at 2, 1. So we have x minus 2 plus 1, and we go up 1, right 1, so our slope is just 1. Describe our transformations. You can plug y equals the cube root of x. If you remember what we did on Desmos yesterday, what does each of these do? If this is negative, then it inverts. Okay. If it's a number that's greater than 1, it stretches. If it's between 0 and 1, then it compresses. This moves our graph horizontally in the opposite direction. So this is going to be to the right 4. And then this number out here that's not underneath the radical translates it vertically. So this is going in the same direction as the sign, so up 5. What's going to be your domain? Well, you have a starting place here. Domain is our x value. So it starts at x equals 0 and it continues on. So you could have x is greater than or equal to 0. You could have it written in set notation so that it's greater than x and it continues on to positive infinity. If we're looking at the range, move this up. If we're looking at the range is our y value. So our y value, it only starts up here at positive 4. So we could say y is greater than or equal to 4. If we write it in set notation, then we have 4y, and it continues moving upward, so to positive infinity. What's the solution? For this one, we're trying to get a radical sign by itself, so we're going to subtract 4 from both sides. You will have 4 or 5 problems like this where you're being asked to solve. The opposite of squaring something, taking the square root is to square. So whatever you do to one side, you're going to do to the other. When your index and exponent match, you're just left with your radicand, what's underneath your radical sign, because your radical sign disappears. 3 squared is 9. We add 1. We get 2x equals 10. Divide by 2. So x is equal to 5. Now, when you go to work this one out, you definitely need to make sure that you're looking for the solution to these. So you're going to plug the left side in as one equation, and you're going to plug the right side in as the second equation. And since this one just has a number, we're going to say y equals 7. So to check this, we're going to have the square root of 2x minus 1 plus 4. So we see our graph here, and then here. If we just put 7, it doesn't know what we want for that one, so that's why we need to say y equals 7. And we're going to zoom out just a little bit. And we want to know the x value of where they intersect each other. And we know that x is equal to 5. So that is the answer that we got if we're setting it as a solution. Remember, we put it in brackets. For this one, solve. Same thing that we did before, only this one we have the cube root. So I have a radical sign isolated by itself. So we're going to cube everything on both sides. Again, exponent and index match. We're just left with what's underneath. So here we have x minus 2 is equal to 2x plus 1. I want to get all of my variables together, so I'm going to subtract an x from both sides. Then I'm going to subtract a 1. and I end up with x is equal to -3. If I'm going to check this one again, I'm going to put the left side as one equation, the right side as another equation, and see where they intersect each other. Remember, when you're looking for cube root of something, you have to go to functions, over to miscellaneous, and you're going to choose that one so that you can put your index there. So the first one is the cube root of x minus 2. Second one is going to be the cube root of 2x plus 1. And here they came up so that we can see these. So our answer there is a -3, and that's what we got when we solved it. Simplifying a fraction. We're taking the square root. So I'm going to do like we had done on the previous one, and I'm going to separate this into 16 over x to the 7th and the square root of 25 y to the 8th x to the 6th. I know this is a perfect square. 7 is not divisible by the index, so that would be 7 times 2. So I'm going to separate this. I have to have an even number, so I'm going to do x to the 6th times x. That's the same thing as x to the 7th. 25, I know the square root of it is 5. Both of these are even, so I can divide. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so 1y comes out. Oh, sorry. Can't copy right. Y to the 8th. So 8 divided by 2 is going to give me 4. 6 divided by 2 is going to give me 3. When I bring this out, 6 divided by 2 gives me 3. So I have 4x cubed times the square root of x over 5y to the 4th x cubed. Look at it and see if you think we're finished. Hopefully you decided we're not finished because we have an x cubed on top and the bottom, so they cancel each other out. So you end up with 4 times the square root of x over 5y to the 4th. Can't reduce 4 over 5. You can't do anything else with your radical, so that is simplified. We have 4 different equations, and we're just going to practice putting these into Desmos and checking to see what the solution of these would be. So left side and right side. So for the first one, if I do the cube root of 2, and I have to make sure, because it doesn't have a variable in it, that I set it equal to y so that it will graph it. The second one is the 4th root of x. And I want to see where they intersect. There we go. So that's my intersection there. When I write it, I'm only looking at the x value. So this one would be 2.52. Okay. The next one, I have 3 and then x squared minus 16. Remember, when you have just a number, you have to do y equals so that you have a reference point. The square root of x squared minus 16. And notice this one, it crosses at 2 different places. One's at +5, one's at -5. So when we write our solution for this one, we would have our solution set of -5 and +5. We have 2 answers for that one. Okay. The next one, again, we have to set it equal to the number first. So we have to say y equals 5. And here, all we have to do is change this to a plus sign, so that makes it fairly easy. Again, we've got 2 answers, -3 and +3.